What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, Gear 5, it's pretty much no secret at this point that Gear 5 is one of, if not the most iconic transformation in all of anime and manga right now. Like, at least in my opinion, Gear 5 is right up there now with Super Saiyan at this point in terms of how iconic it is. Like, that's pretty much how important Gear 5 has become in anime and manga. But I don't think I realized just how important and just how relevant Gear 5 has truly become to the anime industry as a whole until I heard this little segment from the most recent Vincent Chansard interview where he pretty much just said getting to work on Gear 5 at this point is every animator's dream to work on. Now, I didn't realize just how important that really was until I went back and thought about Gear 5, especially Gear 5 episodes. And yeah, at this point, I would assume getting to work on Gear 5 is a dream because it's essentially allowing for animators to fully express themselves and allows them to feel more free. Just like how Luffy is has become a symbol for liberation, Gear 5 has essentially become a symbol of liberation for animators and allows for them to feel more free. So, in terms of like Gear 5 is essentially an ability where like Luffy could essentially create and do whatever he wants in this transformation, right? The sky's the limit with Gear 5. And I think Oda was very smart with Gear 5 too, because I always feel like Oda knew that this is a transformation that would like especially do very well in anime format, right? Like I think when Oda realized that Wano like was an evolution for the anime, I think he was like, okay, Gear 5, it's now the perfect time for Gear 5 to come into play because now that the anime is in a very healthy spot, this transformation can now come to fully fruition. And with Gear 5 now, like when Gear 5 was first introduced in the manga, I loved the transformation, but I always felt like it needed more. But now with the anime, you're able to like see everything that Oda envisioned for Gear 5 on full display. Every animator that touches Gear 5, I feel like there hasn't been a single bad Gear 5 episode. Even when an episode isn't as good production wise, you can clearly tell that the anime staff is just still putting all of their efforts and love into Gear 5. Like that's how much I feel like Gear 5 has revolutionized and revitalized the anime industry, right? Like you're getting to see all these different animators come and put their own spin on Gear 5. No Gear 5 episode is the same as the last, right? I feel like every Gear 5 episode has looked different in some regard, because there's so many different animators now putting their own spin and own touch on Gear 5. So Gear 5, like I said, Gear 5 is pretty much like up to your imagination. Whatever you want Gear 5 to be, that's what an animator is allowed to do. And I feel like every animator now that gets to work on it, like I feel like they just love working on Gear 5 because of that freedom that they have. They're not really confined and like into a box that I feel like a lot of anime staff are with their animes, right? That's why Gear 5 is such an important transformation, like in anime and manga, because there's really no limits to what they can do for it, right? Like the sky is the limit with Gear 5 at this point. Whatever you want to do, you pretty much can do. And I love that so much because it just allows for so much more creativity for the anime staff. Like perfect example, the Luffy versus Kizaru fight. So much in that episode was anime original content. Luffy fighting with the nunchucks in the clouds, that was anime original. Like all the stuff, like pretty much that whole fight sequence, a lot of that was anime original content until they got to Dawn Stamp. Like so much of that was anime original because the anime staff like is just fully in love with working on Gear 5 and they're willing to add so much more anime original content to it because they love working on this transformation so much. That is how important and vital Gear 5 has become to essentially the anime industry at this point, right? Like like you can only really picture like imagine if we didn't have Gear 5. Like what would One Piece be like right now in terms of the anime? Like I know it would probably still be like hype, but I feel like Gear 5 was the spark that the anime really needed because every time we know now One Piece or Gear 5 is coming back in the One Piece anime, that's when you know, okay, get ready for a banger episode at this point because like Gear 5 has essentially now become synonymous with banger episodes. Like every episode with Gear 5 has not missed. They've all been bangers. Every single episode has hit in some regard, right? So like that's pretty much been like the best thing about Gear 5, right? It's like you always know you're going to get a great episode regardless of the content that's being covered. So like pretty much like to sum it all up at this point, Gear 5 has essentially become a sense like a symbol of freedom for anime workers, right? Like in a day and age where a lot of anime like people are where people working in the anime industry feel like they're like in a box and there's like no way out. Gear 5 is essentially that light in the darkness where if you get to come work on Gear 5, you're essentially going to get to do whatever you want, right? This is you finally being able to fully express your creativity like in your own way, right? You pretty much are able to do whatever you want with Gear 5. Like and from what I've heard, there's really been like no limitations put on any animator that's working on Gear 5. They've said from what I've gathered, it's pretty much just like do whatever you're passionate about with your cut and whatever you have to do and just go with it. Just see where it takes you. And that's honestly what I love about it. It's essentially just it feels so freeing to be able to work on Gear 5 at this point. Like now I see why it's become every animator's dream because they're able to rediscover their passion for animation at this point. Gear 5 has essentially become like not only just a symbol of liberation for the characters of One Piece, but it's become a symbol of freedom and creativity for animators. And that's something that I truly love. And I think that's something that goes very underappreciated with Gear 5 as a whole. Like Gear 5, like Gear 5 will always be remembered in terms of like all the hype moments that we get. But I do think that we always have to remember that Gear 5 essentially revitalized the anime industry in terms of amazing work being put out and creativity essentially being like revitalized and all that. So I love that. Gear 5 and like to sum it all up, Gear 5 is one of the best transformations in all of anime and manga. And I just cannot wait to see what we have next in store. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. How do you guys feel about Gear 5? Do you guys feel the same as me, where it's essentially become a symbol of creativity and freedom for the anime industry? Or do you guys feel it's completely different? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.